So I just kind of went back and forth in my head, spoke with my spouse, obviously about what was going to be my decision. And what ended up being the biggest factor was that at the time, I was the only one between myself and my partner who was working, right? So I was the only one bringing in a salary.
In 2022, the Florida legislature passed House Bill 7, a law barring teaching that any ethnic group is inherently racist or should feel guilt over past racial injustices by others. The law also limited discussion that social status is determined by race or gender. But for Jonathan Cox, an untenured assistant professor of sociology at the University of Central Florida, the state's Stop Woke Act meant dropping 2 of his popular courses last fall: race in social media and race and ethnicity.
The courses that I was teaching were that I canceled were specifically on race in the United States, right? Race in America.
A federal judge issued a temporary injunction late last year, blocking the law from being implemented in colleges and universities. But professors like Cox fear their teachings are nonetheless a target. That's because Governor DeSantis, who objects a certain race-based diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, as well as critical race theory, says teaching approaches like Cox's were designed to, quote, tear at the fabric of American society.
We are also going to eliminate all DEI and CRT bureaucracies in the state of Florida. No funding, and that will wither on the vine.
CRT is a framework often taught at the college level that examines the ways in which race and racism intersects with our laws and social institutions.
I base these courses on empirical evidence, right, that has been around for decades, right? So it's really well-known and well-established research.
Cox's courses incorporated topics like racial ideology, color blindness, systemic racism, and ways racism plays out in social media and technology.
Well, I see this as a very dangerous time for academic freedom in America.
That's Daniel Golden, an investigative reporter for ProPublica, who has written extensively on American education, says the legislation had a real chilling effect on university campuses.
And so that made me think about this whole issue of untenured professors and the predicament they're in when they're in a red state at a public university and they want to teach about the true history of this country, and they want to talk about systemic racism, but they might pay a price with their jobs.
The First Amendment is about freedom of speech. And in the higher education context, so public universities, which are an entity of the government, they're bound by the First Amendment.
Which limits the government's ability to censor certain viewpoints. Adam Steinbaugh is an attorney at Freedom for Individual Rights and Expression. He represents a faculty member, a student, and a student organization at the University of South Florida in a lawsuit challenging the Stop Woke Act's higher education provisions.
But if you start going after faculty members for offensive ideas, then no idea is safe.
Scripps News reached out to the University of Central Florida about the cancellation of Cox's courses on race. The university had no comment.
And I think it is incumbent upon administrators at universities, when they're being asked to do something unconstitutional, to stand up against that. And Florida's universities are not doing that.
This semester, Cox's course load is much lighter than usual. He's only teaching 1 class online, education and social achievement. But despite the uncertainty, he tells us he plans to bring back the course he canceled on race this summer and fall.
That's fascinating because I go back to the first thing you said. Students go to college to basically be challenged and to challenge. And doing my own investigations into my own background, I'm finding out things about my own history that we didn't know because it was never uncovered. It was never going to be taught in school. So I guess the basic question then becomes, what's next?
Right. I mean, people do go to school for those very, very reasons.
Right.
And until this decision is made in the court, everybody's in limbo, including the professors, the students, and the staff.
It's a shame the courts have to decide something that universities have been doing for centuries. Stephen Graddick for us. Thank you very much.